Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Okay, but that one time Trey Lyles was in great shape.
Dude, he was in such good shape. What is everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Live from the studio at DNVR HQ, right above the DNVR Bar, corner of Colfax in New York. Oh, it's good to be back. I was in the Valley of the Sun for the last 2 days.
Yeah, dude.
Do you remember when you went and it was 180 degrees?
Nope, it wasn't 180. It was 114, and it was nearly the hottest day ever recorded in August in Phoenix.
You're gonna like this story. Do you want to know when I went there? That is a legend. They go, did you hear about Eric? He came here for the hottest day in Phoenix history.
Yeah, like the other days are so cool, you know?
But I mean, listen, that's like... I mean, come on. That's the hottest day in Phoenix.
That is gnarly. That is
in August, and I just happened to be there. And did I tell you this? Like
we're wearing a sweatshirt.
Well, no, but that day I found myself at a gas station waiting for an Uber. So it was concrete and like fire coming from cars, and I was like,
"Yeah,
what?"
Yeah, that's tough.
Right now.
I'm happy to report while I was there, pleasant and mild.
Oh,
happy for you.
I did miss the little cold front here, though. You know I love my cold fronts.
We were a little Oregonian. We were, P-Line was, or whatever we call him. Blarick was right at home.
Definitely not P-Line.
P-Line, but we should have thought of that.
How have we not?
Well, because Blarick's a bit of a P-hound, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, cancel the show.
Yeah.
Great show for you today. Is ESPN messing with us?
Dude,
I think there is a conspiracy going on. It started with Bobby Marks 3 months ago, and it has carried itself all the way to the top. Here we are a week before Media Day, and they are messing with us. We're going to get into it. I'm fake outraged. We're also going to talk about the Houston Rockets. I know you guys talked about it yesterday, but here's the tease. Are we sure that they're done? Are we sure that this might not be sneaky good for them in a weird way? I'll get to that in a second. And then, as we have been doing for the last, 5 weeks, we're going to preview what might happen this time at Media Day. Very curious what questions we're going to ask. So we got a lot of fun stuff for you. D-Line, I've already introduced him, but here he is.
If you've noticed, the real ones in the chat that were early on supporter club members, their badges have changed colors.
Let's go.
The realest of the real ones are now being revealed. They're separating themselves. They now have a nice green
I love that
banner next to their name. Just so you know, that's how you know.
Those are the realest of the real, man. They will always be the first realest of the real. Over there, it's Brendan Vogt.
I have to issue a formal apology. I misrepresented Adam Mares' opinions while he was gone.
Yeah, what the hell?
Adam Mares also thinks that the expectations are high for the Nuggets. I apologize. I apologize.
Not underdogs, man.
I apologize. No tap apology, but you get a verbal one.
Even Chris Mannix. I saw a clip of him. I didn't even know he had a show, him and Rachel Nichols. But when you're on a flight and you have to you're like, what am I going to watch on this flight? Downloaded a video of him talking because the headline was like, everyone's, the Nuggets are good. The Nuggets are the biggest threat. No one is talking about whatever. So I was like, all right, if Chris Mannix, the ultimate Nuggets hater, is also believing the Nuggets, they're not underdogs.
They're not. We're all in agreement. High expectations for a team that had a great offseason.
I absolutely hate this. I don't like it, man.
Well, if it's fair, nobody believes in you.
Oh.
They just believe in the Nuggets.
Well, I was taking it sort of the properties of the Praetorian, the Nuggets are good, I'm good. And if I'm bad, the Nuggets are bad. But you're saying the Nuggets are good, but I'm bad?
I think that's what's happening. I think this is a schism. But I think you will be good, though.
Okay.
I think you will be good. Let's get into our top story. This isn't our top story, but it is our first one. I don't know if you guys have gone to ESPN.com lately. I rarely go to websites like that.
I do my banking there, and that's all.
Yeah, that's a very good banking site. But they're doing their annual, let's just talk about the season before it begins list, a.k.a. the top 100. You guys mentioned this the other day, although I'm going to backtrack a little bit here in a second. But today's update was even more interesting than the last. Because we got numbers 50 through 41. And I'm just going to go through the list.
Are we going to get 10 at a time?
Yeah, that's how. I mean, dude, ESPN is in the same game we are, man.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we gotta talk about something.
10
Let's trickle it out. They got Kristaps Porzingis at number 50. They have Rudy Gobert at number 49, which is kind of funny that Gobert and Kristaps, I don't know. The order is so funny of these for everybody.
I'm actually surprised they still have Kristaps as a top 50 player.
What are the chances they just let Chat GPT do its thing on this?
Probably pretty high. Well, at least that's the direction they're headed. A couple of years from now, for sure, will be. Mikal Bridges, number 48.
Okay.
Joel Embiid, number 47. He was 8 last year.
Yo.
He's skinny Joel, by the way. I think
That's a
bounce
big
back
drop.
here. That is a big drop. I mean,
It's also skinny Zion. It's skinny Luka.
Dude, Zion looks very skinny, though.
It's skinny everyone but Jokic, frankly.
It's going to be so huge. I can't wait.
What if it works out in the long run? You know?
Yeah. But, Kel, could we scroll down ever so slightly? Jamal Murray, 46.
Yo.
Bro, he keeps falling. What was he, 17 after the championship year? I think
he was
17.
top 20. Now he was
Now
top.
he is 46. Last year, 31. This year, 46. Before we even go to the rest of this list, this is the lowest they've ever had. I'll be honest. They're messing with us. Part of me goes, oh, yeah.
I know. It's so true.
The Nuggets aren't underrated, but Jamal Murray might officially be underrated.
Yeah.
I don't care what you thought of his season last year, which, by the way, was an average season for him. Like, it was what we expect. He's not better or worse. 46 is crazy. Jared Allen's ahead of him.
I saw that.
I just want to say, if we wanted to take it and run with it, we could say ranked higher than Embiid, which does feel good.
I know.
I know it is. Embiid being right there kind of takes some of the sting off.
Embiid played eighth of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think since Jamal Murray was transcendent in an NBA Finals, the benefit of the doubt has shrank and shrank. And I think both locally and then even from this kind of national bird's eye perspective on what's going on in Denver, I even go back to like New Balance. I theorized New Balance would make him the face of that commercial they did for like a month and a half and gave up.
Then they made him the face of removal.
So yeah, the year of Jamal Murray was not outlandish at the time Harrison first uttered it. In fact, it felt like that's where the momentum was headed.
Great playoffs, great championship run.
And it's gone the other way since. And so it just feels like he almost has to remind everyone or re-earn what was once on the table for him.
Season.
Oh man.
Well, we got to think of
something.
That would have been so cool if it worked.
I know it.
Remind us.
It ended up being we were the M.
We got reminded. Yeah.
Remind
Yeah,
M.
reminded.
M being us. Yeah, he's earned this.
Really?
In a sense, because he's been a disappointment, and so he is not this. He's better than this, but he's earned because this is pure perception. This is actually, I don't know if you know this list is based on absolutely nothing. And when you start to break it down logically, you're like, so this guy just moved a team and he became 30 players better. But he has sullied his image, tarnished, if you will, for all those that are not the true believers. Like myself, I'm going to rank him. You know, he's probably the second best player in the league. If I was going to say no, but I mean, like really. He's way better than this, but he's earned this in that he keeps letting people down.
I don't think he's earned 46, though. This to me is like, you know, you have the really strict household. You have a 4.0 your whole life, and then all of a sudden you get a 3.9, and they're like, oh, I got you an application for Trinity Technical College. Do you want to apply? Because you're a disappointment, and you deserve this. Like, he's 46.
The number feels low. The number feels or high, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't figured this out yet.
It's tough to say. But to me, I just look at that and I go, Jamal Murray did not have a bad year.
He didn't.
He had a normal year. His numbers were more or less the exact same. In the playoffs, he had some moment. Like, to me, he was below his standard. But 46
is... because I would say that if for the people... I can't imagine there's a bunch of everyday Nuggets watchers over there at ESPN. I can't imagine. I could be wrong. In fact, I know that I'm right, but whatever. Like the idea that all the narratives are made in prime time holds true for the playoffs as well. Like the last time the world saw him, he was getting erased in the series against the Thunder. You know, so he especially when you compare him to SGA, his countryman. He was just didn't do that great.
I'll throw Adam a bone though and say,
guys, stop glazing Jamal.
This is how it is. Everything comes full circle. And now I'm like, everyone's sleeping on Jamal. Am I the only Jamal guy here?
I'm going to pivot and go way higher on Cam Johnson than everyone else. No, so I think So 2 out of 2. What I was going to say is before I saw any numbers here, I probably would have guessed Jamal's closer to 30. So
yeah.
It is.
If I were to rank, I would say he's probably still at 31 like he was last year. In that, like very hard to say he's top 20. In fact, I think impossible. But I think he is top 20. But I don't think he's been.
I think
20.
he can be top 20.
Like he's got it in him.
I think he has it in him to be around. I mean, 17th. Even when that happened, I felt like it was a little aggressive, or whatever. But it doesn't matter. He can be a top 25, whatever you want to say. Top 30. 46 is like that's twice. There's twice he would miss the top 20 2 times. He'd make a first top 20 and a second top 20, and then a third one, and he'd come in 6th.
Oh boy,
that's how the math works. If I did it right.
Who are some of the names like directly ahead of him?
So Jared Allen.
It's all a bunch of
which
tall
is like when you think of Jared Allen, they're different positions.
I know,
so
but it's like
weird.
who's more impactful, Jared Allen or?
Well, he's impactful as a role player. He's a guy that you kind of expect to have good games every now and then, and some nights you don't notice him or whatever. Jamal Murray.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Mad.
All right, Jalen Johnson.
I'm mad.
Jalen Johnson's really good, but it's also he's good.
Dude, come on.
Going up too fast. Lowry Markkinen, who's very good. Julius Randle.
All right.
OG Anunoby. And then wait, hold on a second. Mr. Nugget.
Whoa.
Number 40. Hold on a second. This is why ESPN is messing with us.
Hold on.
They are putting Jamal Murray as the 3rd best Nugget. Forget 46th best NBA player. The 3rd best Nugget. Aaron Gordon is actually the co-star in Nikola Jokic's Nuggets world.
Oh, God, I hadn't really thought
this
through.
This is walking out of the playoffs. If you watched the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs and you covered the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, Aaron Gordon is the name you think of right after Jokic. And it's not to say that Murray was particularly bad or anything like that.
Yeah, game winners.
Aaron had the loudest moments you could conceive of, really, short of winning a title. So I think that, because the funny thing is, would you really say Aaron had an awesome regular season?
No, this is the whole thing.
He was
He missed
injured
a
the whole
bunch
time.
of games.
So this is a playoff bump.
Shot the ball well.
This is a playoff bump. But as we look at the names, it does feel like maybe 46 is too low for Jamal, I will say.
But also just the idea that Aaron Gordon is ahead. This is why I think why ESPN is messing with Denver, because everybody knows Jamal Murray is Jokic's running mate. And yes, Aaron Gordon had a great playoffs. He had those big moments, although he was also injured by the end of it. You guys remember Game 7, we didn't think he should play.
No.
We were worried that maybe he shouldn't play. So he was up and down. And then, his regular season, he shot the ball well, which was great. But he also did not dunk last year.
Right.
Like, it was just a thing he cut out of his game, which is what he's kind of known for. I love Aaron Gordon. So I don't want to try to make this a thing where Gordon goes back. But it does almost feel like ESPN had to know they were putting the known number 2 in the 3 spot, and the known number 3 in the 2 spot.
I love this. This is a conspiracy theory that doesn't work because it takes consideration.
Yeah,
in order to take place. No.
Well, hold on.
They were just they were playing a game called Name.
There we go. Hold on a second. Let me connect some dots for you guys.
All right,
okay? Let me go to my whiteboard here.
All right.
Tell me if you're following it. Bobby Marks comes out as soon as the Nuggets are eliminated, as he does with every team, and he talks about their offseason. He goes, the market begins for Christian Brown at $30 million. And you go, my God, that sounds like a lot of money for this guy. Then this rank comes out, and he's ahead of Cam Johnson, and he's surprisingly high in the standings. He's way up there. It's almost like ESPN saying, hey, he could have been ahead of Jamal Murray, who got a max. Maybe he's a max player.
So they're trying to...
ESPN.
They're trying to force an overpay.
Sabotage. They are trying to sow discontent inside the Nuggets locker room, / their front office to overpay their role players and to diminish their co-star. I don't really believe it, but it is kind of a fun
How high does this go?
It goes pretty high.
It goes pretty
How
high.
high?
Right, it goes all the way to the top.
All the way to the top.
First of all, have you aspirations involved? There's a lot of things going on
FCC's
here.
Involved.
The FCC's
There's a whole Jimmy Kimmel
Well,
sent
listen,
an
we can do
email.
this the easy way or the hard way, fellas. Now, come out with it. Who's involved? Okay, you know what? I would say absolutely no way, except for... just no way.
We have to take a break. I don't want to have to take a break.
I'm going to do some Googling.
We're going to do our own research here during this break. And we'll come back with even more dots to connect.
There's a conspiracy theory that Miller Lite isn't even beer. I mean, how could it be with just 96
delicious.
calories and 3.2?
Beer's not supposed to be that crisp or delicious.
And light at 96 calories
Can't
and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. It just doesn't check out, they say. The tinfoil hats. I'm here to tell you the truth, though. They're wrong. Miller Lite is, in fact, a beer. It's a great beer. In fact, it's the original light beer. Been that way since 1975. I'll do the math for you. That's 50 years. For 50 years, it's been the iconic and go-to choice. When you're looking for a refreshing beer that does not leave you feeling too bloated, too full.
Why'd you look at me when you said bloated?
I actually, it's when I said beer. It's when I turned.
Why'd you look at me when you said beer?
Yeah. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. I should look at Adam, who loves light beers. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you, or you could pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Excuse me. It's kind of a hard time talking. We're not back. We're not back because I got to tell you guys about Monarch Money, which I use. It's a really, really nice interface to see and track all of your spending to help set a budget. You can subcategorize all of your expenses so it can really track how, not just did you go over budget, but in what categories, right? Did you spend too much at DoorDash this month? Did you spend too much on video games this month? Those are not testimonials. I would never spend too much on video games.
Does this thing have like a built-in father to scold you?
It doesn't, but it does send you reminders that you're over budget, which is kind of similar.
Okay.
It also, if you play around with it, there's a lot of different features in there that can kind of help you figure out how to grow your income, not just take a look at it and manage it, but yeah, having one dashboard where you see everything going on, that's a real treat. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off of your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR. Now we're back.
We're back.
Back on the show?
Nope.
Okay, back in the lounge. back in the studio. All right, segment 2. Everybody throw a like. We want to shout out a couple. I think we have some new members here. Elijah Cook. Welcome to Hall of Fame, not just regular member, Hall of Fame.
What?
Super supporter.
You'll be watching that content we're putting out. We actually put out quite a bit of content. And the thing is I am in both spiritually and actually not a supporter.
Yeah.
So I actually have not even seen it. I see him, I'm like, ugh.
Our Hall of Fame video for next week's got to be something in San Diego, like not content-wise, just something real grimy.
What about just like Adam topless at the beach?
Ooh.
The fellas take their shirts off and rip marbles on the beach.
Right in with the seals out there. Spencer Niles, shout out to you.
Hell yeah.
Melanie V. Hill, shout out to you as well. If you guys want to become a member, just hit that join button.
Sick.
And how all of our emojis. We're going to have some emojis dropping very soon, won't we?
We'll see about that.
We'll see, aren't we? Some very Nuggets
I'm not going to be pressured on the show.
Yes, we will. Let's do it on the show. Let's get back into this, though, because here's the real take. It's fun to poke, to do the conspiracy corner thing, but here's the real take. I have not been the biggest Jamal believer. In fact, I would say I've been a Jamal skeptic for certain things for a long time.
I felt alone on Jamal Island for some time.
For many a years. And you were marooned there for a while. You took many a storm.
I would say
I
deserved it.
Many a storm passed. But I have heard enough from behind the scenes this summer about this being a year that Jamal Murray, I think, is on a mission. Jamal Murray kind of hears the noise. And there have been things, teammates even, this or that. It's been a talking point about being ready when it starts. I think he is prepared for it this year. We'll see. I mean, who knows? If you're skeptical, trust me, man, I think you have reason to be skeptical. I would never begrudge anyone for thinking Jamal's going to have the exact same year he's had for the last 4 seasons. That being said, I'm buying it. But this makes me buy it even more. 46. If I were Jamal, and I'm not, but if I were Jamal.
Wait, you're not?
I'm not.
Ugh.
If I were Jamal and I saw that,
Another
46, theory. I would sit there and go like, man, even by my own standard of like, how I'll be ready when I'm ready, even by that, I'd look at it and be like, damn, they think I suck. They think I'm just a guy. They think I should be getting Christian Brown money.
This is all like a little bit too close to home for me as a 47-year-old man. The perception of what 46
That's
is.
such a huge number.
It's a big number.
That's unbelievable number.
Extreme disrespect.
Some babies can't count that high.
I have to tip my calculator sideways whenever I put it on.
Yeah, dude. No, I get it. I get it. It's a really high number. It's very far from the prime numbers. and it's had better times. But I'm with you, man. Like, I feel the same way. I look at the mirror every day. I'm like, 47, you son of a biscuit. And Jamal Murray should do the same thing. But he has the ability. He has the Benjamin Button option to go the other direction. He doesn't have to be stuck on 47, 48. He should, by all rights, like, this is where you hope that the concept of legacy starts to creep into some of these guys.
He's at the age where I think that kind of.
That's what I'm saying. And, yeah, I think that you usually see changes in behavior, changes in just in general approach to life when mortality starts to become a real thing.
Cal, how old are you? 28. How much do you think about your own mortality?
Every day.
Okay, see, you're right.
I'm telling you. No, I've been here since the beginning with Kale. No, I knew the answer to that before he gave it. Yeah. But I'm just like at a certain point.
First of all, wrong guy to ask.
Yeah, dude, I know,
Kale's been anxious about this since day one.
Yeah. Maybe let's somebody maybe full of life. Let's look at that. But point being, like, this is about the time when you start to make it. You're like, oh wow, I'm not going to be able to do this forever. Hopefully that rings true in his head, and it actually, from what we've heard, seems to be, it seems to be hitting him where he's like, I got to make the most of this.
If you think about it, though, Vogt 2 years ago wins a championship. What could anybody say? Last year signs a max contract extension. Like, it was all, no matter what you say, everyone still believes in me. This year, players, coaches call it out. Now you're 46. Like, this is the first year you don't have the thing to hang your hat on to say, yeah, but I mean, everybody knows. It's like, actually, people don't know.
In fact, the last thing is probably going to swing back and kind of chase at your heels a little bit, being the contract you signed. Got to now go and be worth it. And I understand being in the position Denver was in and saying, we know our best version of ourselves with you on the roster can win, so we'll give you this money. But Jamal has to go and earn it. And this is the most encouraging offseason note. And I think we're all trying not to overstate it because it's not a game. It's not a month in the regular season. But it does sound like he understands the opportunity at hand. And that is a word Mr. Nugget has used a lot when he talks about playing with Jokic. There's an opportunity to be a part of something special. And even if that is Jokic's legacy, you can be a big part of it. And goodness, there's no shame in it. So hope 27 embraces it. And we do, in fact, get that year we've been waiting for.
I will say, just to round out this list, I mean, for one, I'm happy for Aaron Gordon, being up from 49 to 40, because I really do think that he's a guy everybody covets now. He's our own. He's better than the Robert Covington. Remember Robert Covington was the player every team was like, man, if we could just get him. He's better than that. I mean, a lot better. But he is the guy that I feel every team's like, damn, man, if we just had AG.
Totally, man.
Every roster is one AG away.
Totally.
So I'm happy that he gets that recognition. Here are the names in front of Jamal, though, now. Guard edition. Desmond Bane. Really good player. Not a guy that 2 years ago we thought.
Come on, man.
But I mean, honestly, this one is whatever. But it's one of those guys where we're like, yeah, Jamal's better than him. But now not everybody can agree. Darius Garland, that one hurts a little bit for me. Scroll down, De'Aaron Fox. That's like his guy. Like they're in the same class.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox, kind of a loser.
He should be ahead of these guys. And when I say should, I mean he should be doing everything he can to make sure he's ahead of these guys.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young, Derek White. I mean, White.
I'm good with him in that group, though. Like there's not a Tyrese Maxey and Derek White.
Would you trade Jamal for Derek White?
We've had, I don't know that I would. We've had that discussion before, though. Like that's not an outlandish suggestion. And, depending upon what the details were, I would at least listen to that.
What number do they have Derek White at?
20.
He's in the
26.
20s? Oh,
yeah. I mean, I think Derek White is a top 26 player. Man.
But,
wow.
But he's not 20 places better than Jamal. Now I'm mad. Okay, you did it. Yeah.
We're all fired up.
I thought they were all like clumped together. No, there's real stratification there.
Yeah, I do like, though. Like I said, this is the year for Jamal where there's actual pressure on him, but I think that Jamal's good under pressure. Maybe there hasn't been nearly enough lately, and now he has a little bit. I want to move on to the Rockets here, and this will probably spill into segment 3 as well a little bit, but the Rockets lost Fred VanVleet. And they lost him in a pre-camp workout. Like they're going to do pre-camp and they all get together. We're going to go get together and do some workouts. And a guy is out before. Tragic, honestly. Tragic. I've always liked Fred VanVleet. Like, I think he's a winning player. Like he's a guy I root for, all these different things. And my initial thought was Rockets are cooked. That was the Nuggets, it was Thunder, Rockets, Nuggets, maybe Timberwolves. That's your top tier, and we'll see what happens. Rockets are cooked. But then I sat there and I said, well, what's his contract? And I realized that he has this year and next year on a big deal. And then I thought, well, Rockets have all those picks. They have like way more picks. They're one of the teams that has like an enormous amount of picks. A max expiring contract plus picks, that gets you a max player. And I actually look at this and say Rockets are going to be hurt by this just from roster construction and might take a hit. But I would almost bet money that Houston makes an in-season superstar trade.
You think they'll do it before the season?
No, in season, because it's too late now. I mean, no team's trying to trade.
I wouldn't be surprised. You're right. I mean, they do have the. I think
7 first-round picks.
It really depends on how they get out of the gate, whether or not it's like they deem it worth. But they're pushed all their chips in the fact that they got Kevin Durant. They moved on from Jalen Green. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, I do think that they are very set on competing, and after getting the 2
they
seed
have to be. They have
getting
to
the 2 seed last year. I think that they're like, okay, it's on now. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're right.
What do you think of that vote? That they now become a team that is not just because they always could have made a trade. I just don't think they would have.
They kind of have to now,
and they kind of have to, and they have the assets. 3 firsts and Fred VanVleet's expiring max.
There's a path where there's a silver lining outcome. Like they swing this into a better version.
Derek White.
I think they probably still lose this year. Dude, I mean, it's really hard to like make some huge monster trade at the deadline and then go and win a title. And, I think Houston was in a position where this year was possible for them, right? They were carrying themselves like we want to win this title. There are ways that they can try to audible, but I think it ultimately is still a deviation from what looked like a really good plan. I think they'll probably still lose this year. Maybe not. I mean, I don't. There's no need to stick a fork in them now before a game's been played.
If they got Derek White,
that's what I'm saying. Boston's in a weird spot right now.
That would be kind of devastating for us if they got Derek White.
Their picks are kind of good. They have an unprotected Phoenix Suns 2027.
Yeah,
they have some decent capital.
They do need a point guard though, like one way or another,
right?
But
there might be guys out there to be had at that spot. And,
right.
And that's why I look at it and go, I don't know, man. Maybe there is something, for them to have, even if it's like a Drew Holiday, because they have some defenders on that team. True. And you have Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday just sitting there. There's just guys to be had. For sure. And that's why I look at it and I go, man, I liked Fred VanVleet there, but I did think that Şengün, Fred VanVleet, KD, a little bit of a weird big three. You know what I mean?
They need a facilitator. They have to have more of a facilitator. A
true point guard. Maybe Drew Holiday's not that. He'd more just make them an elite defense. Darius Garland was a guy we just talked about on this list.
That'd be weird. He's too offensive focused, I feel like.
Yeah, but they have some elite. Remember how good they were defensively. They have some great defenders. They can kind of afford a little bit of it. Anyway, that was my thought. Is I want to write them off, and say like, okay, Denver's path just got easier, and maybe it ends up being that way, but. Then you look at all those picks and say they're going to have some flexibility I don't totally love.
I also think that the current front office has shown itself to be canny and savvy. So in Houston. So I wouldn't rule out them figuring out a way to make this work in their long-term benefit. I just know that if they were healthy, they were at least in the fringe contender tier.
Right.
And in the era of parity, what a wonderful place that is to be. It's still a huge step back for them. Like they'd have to get the trade just right to have a chance this year.
Philadelphia goes belly up, and they have to start the process 2.0. Tyrese Maxey available.
That would be amazing. That would be great.
Now you're costing even more picks, or whatever.
To me, it's like if you bring in a guy like Tyrese Maxey with Kevin Durant, it just brings you right back to where you were in Phoenix, where you're like, oh, who gets the ball? Who's it? Because I just feel like with Kevin Durant, you have to have a guy that's like, all right. You're going to be the guy. You don't have to you don't have to fall back. I know you don't want to do that.
Right.
So I don't know. But that is an interesting thought.
Let me give you a couple of really hilarious, just because this Houston team kind of has a little bit of the identity that would make it funny. Trae Young, long been rumored to maybe be on the move. Do you get to, because here's the other thing about Houston is they're kind of desperate. They made a move. They have all these assets and stuff, but they knew that they got KD to win now. And now you might just punt on a year where it's like, hey, I don't know, maybe Trae Young.
Although Atlanta is riding a strong offseason in a wide open Eastern Conference, right? So maybe for the first time, they're actually feeling like we have a chance with Trae Young.
Yeah, could be. What about LaMelo Ball? That to me was the one when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it kind of feels too perfect that Houston would talk themselves into LaMelo Ball.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's really good.
Yep.
He's really talented.
He's really talented.
He's really talented.
He is very talented.
I mean, he would make it a show. They would be so fun to watch.
This is like I would wish them upon my. I would wish this upon my least favorite team.
De'Aaron Fox was another name I kind of looked at and said, maybe they go something there. Jordan Poole or that kind of guy.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
All right,
there's options.
There's some options. So I don't know. All I'm saying is I thought initially Rockets were cooked. Now I go, maybe this will do something.
Yeah, they are at present, but they don't have to stay cooked.
They don't have to stay cooked. They can uncook themselves.
They can uncook themselves.
Let's take a break. On the other side, we are 5 days away from Denver Nuggets Media Day. And I wanted to ask the fellas what they want to know, mostly so I can get ideas to ask.
We're doing like a media day of us.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they fixed the leak in the roof in the UC Health Practice Center before we get there. If they did, I'm sure they called Red Hawk Roofing, the pros. I don't know if that's actually true, legally speaking. I should clarify. Yeah. Go with the pros at Red Hawk Roofing and get your roof checked once a year. It's preventative medicine for the home you pour your life into. The last thing you want to see is rain pouring into the home you've poured your life into. Make sure you're covered with Red Hawk Roofing, the pros. No job too small for them. They're happy to build trust and a lasting relationship with you on the small jobs. So that, goodness forbid, if you have to call them on the bigger ones, they're there. They'll be there. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. Colorado's best estimators and contractors. They're also huge DNVR supporters. What that might mean to you, they're huge local Colorado community supporters. You know we're all about that. Supporting your local teams means supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them that DNVR Nuggets sent you. Specify. Say it was DNVR Nuggets, not those other shows. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. You may know Toyota from all the cars they have on the road. You've probably seen it. You probably know about Toyota. You've probably seen it and gone, I wish I was driving one of those. Well, you can. There are a ton of Front Range Toyota stores near you in Colorado. And when you shop with Toyota, it could be a truck. It could be a lower zero emission vehicle. In fact, they have more of those combined than any other automaker to give you numerous choices to reduce your carbon footprint. So whether it's a truck, whether you're looking to reduce that footprint, visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Wait 30 minutes, though, after this show. Then you can go wherever you want.
Yeah, or you listen to it on your mobile phone.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could listen to it
Go
in
right
the
now.
Toyota. Yeah.
Dude, come on.
We're back.
We are back. Segment 3.
Everyone's locked in.
Everybody hit that like button. I'm thinking about Media Day. I'm already at my work.
Are you?
Yeah, but it's not this work.
Yeah, not
I'm on next week's work.
You're thinking about the work, the prep for the work, but not the work itself.
Not the work itself, of course not. Everybody make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. And if you are in San Diego or coming to San Diego, be on the lookout because Saturday we're going to have some kind of meetup before the game that's going to be fun. Friday night, we'll probably let you know where we're going to be hanging in La Jolla if you want to come have a beer with the fellas and chat Nuggets with us. We did that a couple years back. We had a great time. I saw Oso Blanco was in the chat the other day. We haven't heard from him. Is he coming down?
I hope so.
Has he not reached out to you guys directly?
I have not heard from Oso Blanco.
Oh, hopefully we get to see our guy.
Bit disappointing, brother.
If you guys are in San Diego, let us know. I did get reached out by one guy I'm very excited about, though.
Okay,
Might
that's
have
cool.
a very cool content.
Leonard,
thing.
I don't know if you're watching. You're still in San Diego. Hit us up. Coming out.
Real quick, who is the most interesting person at Media Day this year?
I mean, I think I'm up there.
I'm going to go Ryan Blackburn.
That was good. All right. Of the Nuggets player, staff, and people who will take the podium, who are you most intrigued to kind of like feel out?
For me, it's David Adelman. When we last talked to David Adelman about his philosophy and the future of this team looked very different, right? It was at a time where if you were going to sell any form of keeping it together, it was about internal development. Now they have veterans, right? How does that change how David's feeling, how it's looking? He also alluded to them maybe having a different kind of structure to the bench, maybe not necessarily offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. We know they have that sort of rotating first chair thing. I'd like to ask more questions about that. You know, what exactly is that staff going to look like? What does he expect from those individuals? Things have changed since we last spoke with David. So I'm curious to hear how he views the big picture.
Yeah, I'm interested. The only thing is that I feel like the coaches probably give you the least, right? They probably don't necessarily give you a ton of philosophy. Who knows? But I'm very interested to talk to hear from Big Val.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, obviously that was the most tumultuous of all of the offseason acquisitions.
Good answer.
So I'd love to hear, where his head is at. Like, is he still wishing he got to dress up like a little leprechaun and play for those those guys on the scooters?
Can we go 1 week without international conflict? All right, it's been a long summer.
Does he, is he excited about Denver?
I mean, do you expect him to say? The only thing I'll put a pushback on that is, do you think he'll say anything other than like, "Oh, I'm just excited to be here"?
No, but it'd be interesting to hear like what in his words about how he imagines his role.
I just think that was all in the past. Okay, I thought you were going to say about the offseason.
No, I mean, of course not. He's not going to. I'm saying we know whatever he's saying. Like, he's not going to be like, "Oh man, those guys online were just terrible. I knew that I couldn't be involved with them." But I
wanted to go to Panathinaikos so I met their fans. Horrible people.
Yeah.
Unlike Nuggets fans, whom I love.
And I measured. I saw which side was more measured, and I went with the more just, obviously. But I just want to hear him talk about, how he envisions what maybe Jokic said to him, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like Cam as well. Like, these are two like big, and Tim Hardaway, just the new guys. Like, I just want to hear. I just want to hear what they're, what they have been told, what they're expecting, what maybe their role might be, or all that stuff. Like, and where their heads are at.
Well, I'll zig on you guys, and I'll just add too. We all have different answers here. I think it's Jamal Murray.
It's a good answer.
I'm just so excited to hear what he has to say.
He freezes you out.
I mean, I'm all excited just to be yelled at in the presser and giving no answers.
But is he in a good mood when he freezes?
I'd be in a horrible mood, like whatever. It's just so right. It was probably my answer last year. It was
you just show me like, Jamal, I've got some questions. He just calls on whoever behind you.
Then everyone in the comments is like, well, if you guys wouldn't ask dumb questions, then maybe he would answer. I don't know. I think it's him. And here are the questions, because I want to kind of get into things I'm interested in and hear what you guys are interested in hearing. I'll start with Jamal. I want to know how his leadership has evolved over the last year. And I think you can expand this, and you'll probably have to be clever, because players hate when you ask them about like comparing yourself to last year, because the implication, rightfully so in this case, would be, well, you were a bad leader last year, but this year, are you better? But I am most interested in, you win the championship, you have the next year, some things don't go right, whatever. But when it was 2 in a row, it's like, hey, does this team have some fractures? Last year was a fractured team. And I wonder, and I believe that is the story kind of hanging over him. It's hanging over Nikola too. We've seen signs of his growing leadership. But how has his leadership evolved over the last year? I want to ask him that question, and I'm very curious how he'll respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, one way one might frame it is we heard quotes from some of your teammates last year, Jalen Pickett, Zeke Naji, who shouted you out as a leader behind the scenes and building their confidence. Is that something you're looking to embrace more at this stage in your career? I'm with you, man. That any answer to that question, I'm curious. His general mood, honestly. I mean, does he seem excited and engaged to be there? I know it's just media day, but I mean, goodness, the offseason was great. The contract those checks are going to start clearing. I would love to see him seem like he wants to be there. So I'm looking forward to Jamal as well. That was my next answer. I think it's a good one.
What do you think about the leadership aspect of this for Jamal? Assuming he would answer that question earnestly and openly.
Yeah, listen, like, I don't know if he has to be a leader. Like, I don't know if that's, obviously he's your starting point guard, so there's some inherent leadership baked into that. But I don't know if that's even necessarily his best role as the guy. Like, I think it's great when he's vocal and he's like kind of.
But that's not all of leadership.
No, I know, but I just.
Maybe responsibility would be a different year. Like, how is your responsibility or your sense of responsibility to the team evolved?
Yeah, I'm obviously interested in anything that he has to say on that. Like, because I think his offseason really looks to me like it's sort of punctuated with the idea of growth. And I'm hoping that sort of permeates the mental side, how he deals with Nuggets social media. I kind of hope he just sort of does what Jokic did, where he stopped pausing his game to be here, and now he's like turned into like a man. And I just think that there's some things that Jamal Murray needs to be like kind of a man about, like, and it's sort of doing what you have to do and being mature about all of it. And
I think, to be honest with you, this is also what I mean. It's less about rah-rah speeches and this or that, and it's more this. But maybe, you're making me think about framing the question almost differently.
Yeah. I just want him to scream at you.
Well, let me think about this, because I was thinking about it. I did a show with my guy Espo out in Phoenix the other day when he was asking me about the Suns.
Whoa, that's my guy.
No, that's
Espo.
He told me, he's like, you're my guy.
He told me not to claim him under any circumstances.
But we were talking about Devin Booker, and Devin Booker's in this weird place where he was the face of a team that was kind of on this come up, albeit very slowly. Then they became a super team, and he got to ride that. Then they got Kevin Durant, and he kind of became the second guy on his own team. And now here he is back in the reins at the same age, 28. And I was like, man, 28, it's kind of your prime. And every year feels so like precious when you're there. And Devin Booker has a year where it's kind of like, we're not going anywhere, so I just have to develop. And I wonder with Jamal, when you're talking about Jokic, he reached that point maybe at 26, 25. I don't know what it was, but there was a point when we all noticed it. It was a little earlier than where Jamal is. But I do think it's natural around 28 to start saying, like, what am I? Because these are the years when I talk to my kids, I talk to them about my age 28 season.
Yeah. And, it's not, I don't think it's uninvolved that we saw his daughter start to make some cameos in pre-games, warm-ups, and she started to become more and more visible. I just think there's something about like,
fatherhood.
but like in this specific instance, it was like something that was hidden to something that was embraced, to something that now will define. And there's like, that's all part of, growing up. So I just, I don't know. I have high hopes. I have high hopes.
Maybe that has a part to it. I honestly don't know, obviously all of that, but I do think that this is just an age where there's a turning point, and I'm curious for him. I also am curious what he thinks about being ranked 46th.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny because it's like a recent story. If this happened 3 months ago, I don't know if Jamal will say that, because I wouldn't ask him about ESPN's rank 46. It would be about the idea that maybe he is not thought of the way he was thought of before. Because I just think that has become somewhat universal. It's not about ESPN rank. It's about a lot of, a lot of people seem to be a little bit lower on Jamal at the exact moment when this should be, statistically speaking, his best year, 28 years old. Did you peak at 25, 26?
Right.
That's kind of...
And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I think, again, I think the personnel and the roster have set it up so that he can succeed. Yeah. And so the expectation should be that he does, right? And I hope he has that expectation for himself. It's really easy to kind of talk about this stuff in abstract terms, but I think there is a version of the sharpest point of Jamal Murray as a competitor and a professional that everyone would like to see reemerge, because we saw it in 2023 and it was so and it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
Let's move on to David Adelman next, because I like that one as well. Here is my main question. How does he prioritize long-term, and by long-term I mean the playoffs success, versus the short-term getting wins? Because I think Michael Malone had the very black and white, you have to develop the young guys to be ready for the playoffs. Adelman doesn't have that necessarily. He has veteran options, but does he still look at it as, yeah, but we need to use the regular season to find out all the different things we are and are not?
This is one of my biggest questions about the team right now. How much does David Adelman's vision of what's necessary, important, prioritized, how much has it changed from when we last spoke to him? I mean, you don't have to be about Julian Strawther this year. You can be, though.
Yeah. And you may need that.
And you may need to be down the line. Or maybe you have the pieces you need to just go and be competitive and win almost any given night. And I have my idea of what I think the right approach is, but I'm not an NBA head coach, and David Adelman is now. So I'm very curious to learn if that's changed at all. I think it's one of the biggest questions.
And it's not even the young guys, Eric. It's minutes. It's rest days. It's those types of things. Like, I'm very curious what his vision is for his role.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this at length, Brendan and I, the other day, about like just as it pertains to exactly Julian Strawther, Tim Hardaway Jr., that specific, and then also Peyton Watson, like how you view some of these guys that have been, in play for the long-term plan for the Nuggets. Like, do you share that vision? Do you want to foster it? So I'm curious too. And I don't even know. I mean, there's so much of it, like you forget how long a season is, and there's actually plenty of room for lots of guys to play, but you can be, and you should be more decisive towards what you think the ultimate form of the Nuggets is. And I don't know what the answer to that is for him.
Is there anything else with Adelman? I mean, the other big thing is just what he thinks is different about the team. You know what I mean? Like how is this team different? My hunch is more defensively than anything with depth, but I wonder if it's like, my big question is, are the Nuggets just running it back with better players and more players? Or is this a new coach that comes in and says, we actually are a little different than we've been for the last 5 years?
I agree. I wish I had a better way to expound on that, but I can simply say that I agree. That is a big question. Yeah.
I'm also curious just how he connected with the team. I think David Adelman made one of his biggest points of emphasis this summer was be around the guys as much as I can. Fly to LA when they go to LA.
Yeah,
visit people in their hometowns and do different things. And I'm just kind of curious to hear more about that. You went to the new guys, so we'll start with Cam Johnson. What is it you were just dying to hear him talk about?
I'm dying to hear him talk about, I mean, granted, he's done like 70 hours of podcasting since he joined the Nuggets and not actually with the Nuggets yet. So it's pretty well documented, a lot of the way that he thinks about the team and his fit. But I mean, like that for me, I mean, I want to know how the Rico Hines runs went. I want to know like what he kind of, if he's developing any kind of chemistry with other guys. Like I want to know just how, I mean, the big questions are just like, how do you envision you fitting into this team, an established starting five that made some noise, and now we're 2 generations off of that. Like, how do you see yourself as different from MPJ? How do you see yourself as similar? Like that, those kinds of questions.
Ooh, I like the idea of asking him how he, and players don't usually like to do that, compare themselves, but it is kind of interesting. Like, what do you think is different about yourself than Michael Porter?
Yeah. I mean, it's
he's like, I'm smarter.
We're like, we know. Next.
He's like, have you seen our podcast?
I'm not as curious.
A little less curious than he is.
I used to think that was such a great trait.
We no longer value curiosity.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think what you touched on it a little bit with the Rico question. How much already does he feel like one of the guys? Has he gotten to know guys already? Who? To what extent? Did anyone reach out?
He's had P1 on his podcast, so
there you go.
Seemingly they're close.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I guess, we already kind of had Cam's introductory press conference, and he hasn't played a game since.
I know.
I almost am more excited to ask the other guys about Cam than I am to ask Cam about himself.
It's true.
Right. I'm curious, I always like asking guys like him coming to a new team what they think of Jokic, because that's always a good chance to get somebody else's perspective on those types of things. I think that'll be good. If we go to another new guy, Tim Hardaway Jr., I want to know why he wanted to be a Nugget. He talked about how he wanted to come here, and he's talked a little bit about why, but I'm kind of curious just to have him expand on that a little bit, because I think Tim Hardaway Jr. made the decision to come to Denver as much as Denver made the decision to go get Tim Hardaway Jr. As in, he's like a veteran minimum.
Yeah.
I want to be there. Let's do this.
Without
and they were
question.
like, we'll do it.
Yes, I agree. I'm also, he had a good stint in Detroit, and I want to ask him what he thinks worked well and clicked for him there, and what he thinks might be able to translate or carry over as he comes here as well.
By the way, Chris Mannix did say Tim Hardaway Jr. gives you what KCP gave you. And I remember being like, well,
I don't know about that. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to shut down Steph Curry, but we'll see.
But he might hit 10 threes in a game, which is also something KCP would not do. Yeah, I'm curious about that, how excited he is to play with Jokic, how proactive this was on his end, what he felt like clicked for him in Detroit, and just what he thinks he brings to a team that's knocking on the doorstep of another title.
Yeah. I just said all that stuff. Like how much of it his veteran leadership from the bench he's looking forward versus like his just actual playing on the floor, like if what that's going to look like.
Kind of curious what success would look like for him. Like what, sometimes it's good for these players that are somewhat on the fringe. And I think he's pretty close to a lock to play. I'd be surprised if he got completely beat out of the rotation. But I wonder what is success? Like, you came here for a reason. So is it just, hey, we're going to win a title? It was, hey, I think I can be my best self and help win a title. I want to, is it playing a lot of minutes? Is it, hey, I'm at the point of my career, I want to kind of be more in the corner?
Yeah.
I'm curious what success is.
Absolutely.
Nikola Jokic, the big fella.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of him.
I want to ask him about Cam. I mean, everybody's going to want to ask him about Cam. But to me, I am excited to hear him. What does he think? Because again, you want to fall right into the comparison, right? Him versus Michael Porter. But what is it that Cam brings to the team that will help the most? Not just the shooting, which we all know, but like, what is it about Cam specifically that maybe like intrigues him? I'm
going to ask him about freaking Serbia. Like, what this Eurobasket? Like, did that help you? Like, where? You guys had high expectations. It didn't come through. Like, where are you after that? Like, what is your lasting feeling of Eurobasket? I'm curious, like, how that might bleed into the season here. Like, if there's anything that feels unresolved, or, if he feels like he's ready to go. I'm just kind of just in general curious about where he's at.
What do you think for the big fella?
Yeah, he talked so much about detail and attention to detail. And, he hasn't played with him yet, but I'm curious if he thinks, these new additions from Cam to Big Val are going to help Denver in that department, a full season under Adelman and his staff. If he thinks that's going to be, prioritized for the team and something they've kind of addressed as best they can through acquisitions. Obviously, they haven't played together yet. And Jokic is so process-oriented. Yeah. I can almost see his answer now, right? Which is that he, until they get started, maybe he doesn't see it yet. But we see that Cam is a guy who pays more attention to detail, and is that something that Jokic is excited about?
Yeah, I'm also curious, just like what Jokic's excitement level is, because let's be honest, I think Jokic doesn't get excited for training camp or media day. I think he is really, really low on that portion. I think this is the most tedious part of the season for him. This idea of coming in and relearning all the things that we learn every year. And I think it bums him out almost. But this year's so different that to me, it would feel like maybe there's some excitement there. And I don't know if that's even a question you can ask or more a sense you can get throughout the course of the week.
Right. They've added depth. You talked about wanting depth after Game 7 last year. Does the offseason kind of reinvigorate you if you needed it to feel right, more excited about the opportunity that's right in front of you guys?
I want to ask Aaron Gordon. I think he's another one of the more interesting people here. Number one, just how's the hamstring? I mean, we've obviously seen him looking great at these runs, but he came into the year last year a little banged up. And I'm just curious if it's like, he had this quote with the 3-6-1. I think I've referenced it once before, where he said, "This is the best I've ever been at basketball, and it feels like where my body and mind are all kind of aligning." And to me, that's what I want to ask him about. Like, I'll have to find a way to frame it, because that to me is the story of AG's season this year. I'm very high on AG's year. And because to me, it's like the last year of his athletic prime, but it's also the smartest he's ever been. And this is maybe the one year where I kind of expect those lines to intersect.
Yeah. Why does he feel that way? Does the shooting play a big role in that? How big of a priority is the shooting for him this season with hopefully your health returning, where you can play more in the dunker spot, be physical, be an impact defender, a guy who dunks a ton? Do you still want this 3-point shot to be a big part of your game, and do you expect it to? And how much should the hamstring hamper his offseason? Yeah. How deep into his offseason was just recovery versus getting after it? It kind of seems like somehow, some way he came out of that scenario okay. Yeah. So thankfully, maybe it was fine. He got to rest a little bit, and then once it was time to get back going, he felt good. But curious to see how he feels physically, and if his calf has healed at all during the offseason.
I want to hear what his trip to China was like. Also, he got to go over like Jokic did. Both Jokic also, that kind of question.
Yeah, you're right.
China, what is that like? Like to be mobbed in a totally different country? I'm sure it never happens here.
Well, it's happened in Denver as he walked home from winning the title.
That's a fair point. Yep. But I'm just curious what that was like for those guys, to be in a totally foreign land and be celebrated like they were.
I think Peyton Watson I'm interested in. I want to know what his relationship's like with David Adelman, John Wallace, and Ben Tenzer. I think that's one of the main, if not the main story, it's certainly one of the main stories of Peyton Watson's tenure so far in the NBA is that he was at the middle of this little weird awkwardness that was between coach and front office. But David Adam and John Walsh, Ben Tenzer, none of them picked him. None of them chose not to play him. Like they were not the people that, so this is a fresh one. And I'm just curious what kind of connection or what kind of effort those guys made, or maybe they didn't make any. Maybe it was just like, hey, you're a guy and we'll connect when you get here. I'm curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about that. Has it been kind of hard not to think about the extension? You know what I mean? Has that been on your mind? Yeah, I think your question is the biggest one, though. I mean, just sort of like, how do you feel about being a Denver Nugget right now, and what your future looks like here, and what you think you're ready to bring to the team this year?
The awkwardness, by the way, for both CB and PWAT is that those deals not signed yet. My expectation is that will happen in the next couple weeks, that you'll get into camp, and that's probably a thing. I think, remember AG last year, and this actually comes to CB, because I'm curious what he worked on in the offseason. Mm-hmm. And I have heard, like CB, the Rico Hines runs did not participate, has not been a main participant at some of the runs in the summer. He has played some, but not every day. And I think I have to imagine, I don't know this for a fact, I would guess that some of that has to do with getting ready to sign the biggest contract of my life. Like I can't be out here just trying to dunk on guys.
And by the way, and I'm not, but it just happens, Fred VanVleet was at a team mini camp. At a team mini camp when it happened. So this is part of it, part of the calculus.
And so I'm kind of curious. And if you remember AG, did he get off to a slow start that year? Because I think it was the same thing, contract extension. Like, all right, I'm taking it easy with my body a little bit because I don't want to push it and do something terrible. So I'm kind of curious with CB. He had a great year, but what did he work on? What was the point of emphasis going into this one?
He's also talked a lot about trying not to. We're all talking about the 3-point shot with him constantly, and he's talked about sort of with that conversation being there. He's wary. He doesn't want to lose his identity. He doesn't want to try to be something that he's not. So I am curious to what extent the 3-point shot is something he feels like has to be an evolution and it's all he's working on versus he's trying to stay true to the Christian Braun blueprint as well.
The last two guys, we'll have to hit them quick because we're out of time, but Brucey B and Julian Strawther, to me, are kind of the next in line. I obviously want to talk to Jalen Pickett, but Julian Strawther, they bring in another shooter. So now it's like he goes from a year where he was higher in the pecking order to almost lower in some ways. And then Brucey B just coming back. We all know the story there, but we haven't heard him talk yet. They didn't even do an introductory press conference for him.
How long ago did you decide that you would be a Denver Nugget? That's my question.
Was this thing signed the day you left Denver? Like, like that was the most hilarious courting process I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, man, yes, I just want to hear. I just basically want to hear Bruce say that Denver rocks.
Man. Yeah, rules.
Yeah, I mean, at what point did it click for you that you wanted to be a Nugget again? He may say it never unclicked, you know, but I'm curious about that. I want to ask him if he feels like he learned any, like winning a title alongside Jokic. What an important year in your career where you probably learned so much. Did he learn anything different from these last couple of years? Different roles, different stops. Obviously, making more money is implied, and can that make him a better player coming back to this role?
I also wonder what success is for him. You know, because Bruce Brown is a caliber of player that some guys play till 30 and they're done. They had a good career. He played 8-9 years. That was good. Is that where he's at? Where it's like, hey, I'm coming back here and this is great and I had a good time here. Or is it like, no, this is the halfway point of my career, or this is another opportunity to win and make some more money and kind of bounce back into a role. I'm curious of all those things. We're so curious, man.
We are. We should call this show Curious Mics. Three microphones.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. All right, we have one super chat. We have one homie today.
Lead him in. Are you satisfied if the Jokic era ended with 2 rings?
Yes.
It's a good question, actually.
I am.
Until they get 2.
Yeah, I would say yes now. Once they have 2, it'll feel...
I'm living day to day. I'm living championship to championship. Right now, yes, 2.
Absolutely.
A lot of greats have 2. 1, it's like a lot of greats have it, a lot of not greats have it. 2, you're like, almost nobody who wasn't great got 2.
Perspective's a funny thing. You go back to 2020 and you asked us, hey, Jokic is going to get 2. We'd all go 6. Sign us up 100 out of 100 times. But then you watch him be as good as he's been, and you think, would that be leaving any on the table?
It would be, and I would still be totally happy.
I agree.
If 100%. But I'm telling you, if we get 2... Oh, 3?
Watch out.
Watch
3?
out.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who became a Supporters Club member. We appreciate
Hell yeah,
you.
dude.
2 more shows in the off season.
And for those of you that have the green banner, you can stun on these hoes.
Hit that like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.